All right, cyber traders, good afternoon and welcome on back here this Thursday. Let's go with January 7th here. I'm looking at my calendar. Shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, welcome on back here for our afternoon meeting. Let's get a quick sound check just to begin. Make sure everyone can hear me loud and clear. Should be good to go. I hope I'm good to go across the trading room. Should be good to go across social media. Give me a quick sec, folks. Got to reset here. Test 1 2 1 2. Let's see. Give me a quick sec, folks. All right, I might need to do a quick flash here on my screen for all of us inside the room, all of us on social media here. Just stand by for a quick moment. All right, test 1 2 1 2 for all of us inside the live trading room. Just give me a quick chat back. Should be good now. There we go. All right, quick fix. Not too bad. All right, for all of us inside the live trading room, I'm good to go now. For all of us in social media, thank you so much for being patient. Let's hop right into it, though. Uber, I mean, I was recording this anyway for one of our classes coming up this month, but, a beautiful pattern. I mean, beautiful trend off the lows, but actually making a beautiful head and shoulders still at this point. Hasn't broken the trend line just yet, but I saw one of our students, Michael D, ended up just getting 10 cents on this trade, in and out quick from 56. So pretty quick trade, in and out, easy. Now at this point, for right now, Uber, why we had this up to begin, it's not to say, we always follow name brand, but the market moving up nicely. We ended up seeing Uber push up nicely. We'll follow it, albeit a little pricey. Now, the thing with this trade, though, that really caught our interest was the fact that the stock was breaking all-time highs or approaching it. It kind of fizzled out, though, a pretty weak move to break over 56.02, the previous high back from December. But yeah, for the meantime here, Uber, I don't mind putting this on our main list just to begin. No problem with that. All right. So, the meanwhile, of course, our focus, Bitcoin's still moving up. I don't have my chart up with me here today, folks. Last couple of days, I was kind of showing it in and out fast. So for right now, Riot, you can kind of see this move up pretty nicely with the Dow after the market opened up. But of course, with Bitcoin too, Bitcoin breaking over 40,000 very quickly. And by quickly, I mean, by the time it ended up making this like a double top here, Riot, that is, Bitcoin started crashing back down. And that's what led to Riot, Mara, all these other Bitcoin related stocks to go with it. Right, Mara got crushed. Look at that move from like 24.50, just about 24.35 high, all the way down to sub 19.50. Insane. So, to say these are like level one, like good stocks for new students, no, not at all. So, yeah, I mean, BT at the same time, this had a weaker move across the whole day. But once Bitcoin kind of dropped from that all-time high from like over 40K, ended up kind of making a sharper move down with it. So, for the meantime, I'll kind of keep them on the side. Nothing really too special about them aside from the volatility. So, as a student, if you tend to follow them on a regular basis, then maybe put them on your personal list. But for anyone else, we'll kind of just go from top to bottom here, see what else we have heading into the afternoon. All right. Let's see. FTFT, I'd be remiss not to begin, of course, number one at this point. Still kind of like making a squeeze off for at this point, but too much volume traded. I don't know what the float is, but at this stage, after making such a big move up already, ended up dumping off quite a bit, making a nice run off 4 here in the meantime. So for anyone still following this, if you're in it off 4, maybe under 4, then I'd probably look to get out pretty soon. All right, so for the meantime, I'm not too interested on this one. I'd probably say the same with DDD. This one has like just a wacky order book, big spread, light orders on the bid and the ask. But, of course, ended up making a fantastic run up. It just like wouldn't stop. One of like many stocks that wouldn't just like stop moving up across the morning. So I don't know what the deal was with DDD, 3D Systems, what the news was at least. Fausto was in and out this one quite a bit earlier on throughout the day. Definitely more of like a level 3 to 4 stock it became, especially after it broke above like 22. You could see heading into the late morning, or rather probably like the early afternoon. Nonetheless, though, it popped up, kind of made the same dump off right around 1 p.m. Eastern time from like 25 all the way down to 20. That's insane. A 5-point dump off here within what, like a couple of hours time? Man, like again, just the volatility on some of these trades today. Like I wouldn't have expected it to be as crazy across this a whole week. Now, obviously, the news with the market politics, but we ended up seeing a big push across the market today. That's fine. Again, a lot of stocks went with it, but in terms of seeing a stock go from 14 to 25 and then back down to 20. It's crazy. And this was like one of like 5 or 6 that we were following like that. So, man, not every day is going to be like this. So maybe tomorrow will be a bit slower heading into the end of the week. SOS, same thing as kind of that FTFT trade, not making that big squeeze up just yet. Maybe it'll pop off 3 for about 15 cents, maybe. I don't know. Hopefully it would make a higher high, but I doubt it would. So for the meantime, we'll pass. Really quick, actually, for one of our students in Traders Talk earlier this week on Tuesday, they're asking about warrants. Like, when would you look to trade a warrant? That's a warrant. So, I don't know what this company is. Probably another acquisition company. That would be my just blind guess. But man, I don't know what the hell happened to the warrant. Got halted for about like 2 hours. Reopened up. Yeah, at this point right now, just as far as tradable or not, looking at the order book, I feel it. You know the answer here. All right. So the regular one, though, IPOE, this is the actual company, not the warrant. So, ended up getting halted on the way up a few times and got halted pretty much for the same amount of time as the warrant did. Just flat right now. Just at least this has more volume on the book, so it's tradable in that regard, right? But just no trend. This ARCT certainly has trend. Pushing up, I mean, extremely well. What the hell happened here on the daily chart? Are you kidding me? Jesus. All right. So you know what? I got a little time here. No problem. I'll dig into Benzinga Pro. This is pretty interesting. ARCT. I got this up on my other screen, so bear with me for a quick moment here. Off the 29th. All right. So I see a bunch of stuff. Let's see. All right. So back on the 28th in the afternoon, I'm going to copy and paste the news back from that day. There you go. So what is it? Proceed with phase 2 study or something of that nature. I guess they weren't a fan of it. So I'm sure there's more to it aside from that headline, but ended up making a huge drop off back on the 29th in the morning. And then obviously the gap fill right now. So, I mean, hey, for a pretty expensive stock, that's a really nice move. So yeah, I mean, just the spread's killing me though. So if this actually had a more filled in order book, as expensive as it could be, I would look to trade it still. I mean, kind of like an Uber, right? So Zuhair is saying no sound inside the trading room. Just for all of us here, just another quick check. Just give me a quick check here. Good. All right. You know me at this state point, folks. I'm gonna be pretty paranoid going forward now. So I appreciate you chipping in there. All right, so just give me a quick moment. One of our new gold students here. I want to give him a quick shout out. Actually, Zuhair. In the meantime, you can't hear me saying this, but I'm gonna type to him in the chat board right now. There we go. All right, so you should just log out, log back in. Nonetheless, though, ARCT, if it had a tighter spread, more volume on the book, I would look to trade it easily, even though it's a $69, $70 stock. That's a really nice run up on the daily chart. All right, so we push forward here, folks. XNet pushed up from earlier today. Nice move from like $4, squeezed up to 5, made a higher high later on. It is shortable. So for as much as it moved up, and I always like to say this heading into this meeting, if it does crap out the other way, it could be a good opportunity. It did already. So, at this point forward, this one at least not so much. All right, so we'll kind of skim through at this point, folks. Sun W, just want to look at familiar name, ended up making a nice move from pre-market, pushed up earlier today. Got XNet, CNET here. Riot, there was Mara. I was looking at that earlier today. I showed that just before. Plug, news came out on Plug earlier today, ended up making a huge pop into the market open. And with that, you would have figured the same to be said with FCEL. Took a little while to get the gears going on this one at least, so let me talk about this for a moment. So, still up just about 20% heading into the afternoon. It's like trading in a tighter range, lack of trend really from what it was doing from earlier this morning. So I'm not as keen to put this on the watch list right now, but after the market opened, it had some big shakes to it. But with this stock moving as well as it moved with Plug the last week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, however many long, right? So, we follow these trades together. Grant in our trading room says it every single day. These stocks tend to move similarly. So, when I saw Plug make a pop and Fausto type it in the chat board in red, right away I turned over to F-Cell and said, what's the deal with this? So I ended up jumping in and out quick. That was my first trade on the morning, which gained me some house money. And then from later on, I kept up with this trade, ended up jumping it off 14 off the breakout. I left a fortune on the table, ended up getting out right around 1440 near the high. I mean, it just exploded after that point still. So, ended up pushing all the way up towards 1550. From there, it dumped off, as you could see. So at this point now, like I said, just not as worth watching, but, we always follow these stocks. The second that you saw Plug up early in the morning, you figured that, F-Cell is going to move with it. All right, so I want to scroll up on the chat board here. Someone shouted out the OEG stock, saying it was at an all-time high. Mario, okay. Yep, or it pushed up earlier. I want to check in on that on the daily. Is it really an all-time high? $2 stock? Nah, not an all-time high. Probably 52-week high. Right. So, not an all-time high, but nice move, obviously. Right. So either way, great shout from Mario. At this point heading into the afternoon, it has exactly what we would want to look for in a trade, just, kind of near the highs, albeit it did pull back. But liquidity, tight spread, a bunch of volume on the book currently at 12,000 plus share order at 280, 293, 71,000 share order. I'm reading up. So, basically every 10 cents. We have like next to nothing on our watch list so far, which is a good thing. I tend to kind of put a lot on our list. So we have Uber, and now the OEG trade at least will make the cut. All right, we keep it pushing, folks. So yeah, for all of us inside the trading room, my apologies on the sound delay there. CLNE ended up making a nice push. Familiar name really across the last, month or so, the last 2-3 weeks at least. Up and up and up it went, and it is shortable. So for as much as it went up, many days here, it was a great short. So hey, maybe tomorrow, right? Maybe history will repeat itself in that regard. But today ended up making a nice move up, pretty flat here. I'd keep it on the side list. It's still kind of near the highs, so to say. So maybe by 3:15, 3:30 in the afternoon Eastern, we'll see some big push perhaps. That's the hope. So, for right now, I'll kind of keep it off the main list, maybe check back in with it later. Fausto lately calls that like the B list, right? He's been saying the A list, the B list, I'd so to say that would be like the B list. All right, let's hop over to the losers list here. In the meantime, you got the A list, B list, gainers list, losers list here. All right, so DGLY, wow, you take your eyes off a stock for a minute here, down 23+%. Not a whole lot happened really in the afternoon. I guess it was more so like the after hours trading pre-market more so, and then after the open it dumped off. So yeah, I mean, we were talking about this in the afternoon yesterday. It was running up as all the craziness happening in the world, or in DC at least. But ended up diving off in pre-market today. Not really much of a trade right now. All right, V-Ray, not much going on there. I'm just going through the ones that are shortable. Ones that are easy to borrow. Bed Bath Beyond. Nah. This one we had our eyes on at least early in pre-market. I have it up on my earnings calendar here on my whiteboard. We knew what was going to happen today, at least as far as we didn't know as far as the result. We knew earnings would happen today, but dived off in pre-market, squeezed up after the open. Good trade from earlier today, but pretty flat. Like a lot of these pretty flat at this point. Probably keep this on the side list at least for tomorrow. If not on your main watch list, perhaps we'll see. Volatile trade off of news. Market pushing up, or at least it did earlier today, rather. I mean, trying to at least, right, heading into the afternoon, little wiggle here. But UVXY down big, right? So, VIX ETF ended up making a big push down earlier this morning. So, kind of holding off 1070. All right, I think that's it for right now, guys. I really don't have many stocks to watch heading into the afternoon. If there's anything else that you folks see, just type it in the chat board. I'm like open ears here, so. From Chuck saying the ALDX trade had a run just about 30 minutes ago. Pretty interesting that I only have 2 stocks as I went through the whole gainers and losers list. Yeah, I guess it's pretty similar. I don't know if I skipped over this, Chuck, compared to the OEG. It looks pretty similar in terms of the trend. ALDX. Yeah. I'd say it's like more of a level 2 to 3 trade in relation, but I'm just commenting on that just generally for all of us inside the room. I like this. Good call. Yeah. From Greg, he's saying Peck. Oh, Greg, I was going to mention to you here, and for Norman as well, who I was working with earlier, the Riot trade off that 22.24 price, incredible. I mean, we were talking about that as a smart money print from earlier today. Perhaps we'll jump back to that at the end here, but yeah, Peck. Listen, it's a nice pop right now. Ended up making a big push early in pre-market back on Tuesday. Dumped off obviously after that. You can see on the daily chart. So pushing up here one more time. I'm just a little afraid of this dumping back down hard. Just a low float stock and big spread, and like really, it's not as like worth it to just trade this. I mean, we see stocks like this all the time make a push up, and they always make a push right back down. They're very inconsistent. So, with it being more inconsistent, tougher to read, perhaps you could say, I'm not as likely to follow this trade, right? I'd rather trade an Uber, which is more expensive. I'd rather trade, the OEG, ALDX, so far, perhaps the Bitcoin stocks too. LI, yeah, that too. The EV stocks, maybe check in with collectively. So, not to say Uber is EV, just that breaking all-time highs. That LI EV stock, Neo not doing a whole lot right now. XPEV, probably a sharper move heading into the afternoon, though dumping off right now. That one's pretty tradable, I'd say. The XPEV. And then LI is a good setup. I mean, a really nice iceberg order off of 35. It's up 10%. Yeah, this one looks great. I like this one. Who is that, Michael? Yeah, good call. All right, we'll keep it going. We got a lot of comments here in the chat board here from James inside the Cyber Group room. For all of us on social media, I'll say this right now. Feel free to join us Monday to Friday right here in the Cyber Group trading room. If all our students here like James and Debbie and Chuck, all commenting here live right now. So we have James saying the VLDR trade making a nice push. It is. Thin on the order book, definitely more of like a level 3 to maybe level 4 trade off the next pop. It ended up showing a lot of volume, as you could just generally see on the chart, off of 25, I would imagine, like over 100,000 share spike. All right, so you know what? Not really too big of a list here, so we'll keep this on for right now. Good call. FRSX from Chuck, and then from Debbie, I'm sorry, the FTFT. All right, FRSX, Chuck's bread and butter stock. It's at the highs right now. Perhaps it can make a nice pop. For right now, I'll kind of keep this on the side list for the meantime. And then from Debbie, she was saying FTFT great for scalping. She had a really good day on that. I saw that post from earlier from Debbie M. She's saying took her 4th and 5th trades on it at 440 and 450, and then in at 420, out at 458. Oh, I'm sorry, from 440 to 450, and then from 420, she picked up 38 cents on it. Really nice job. All right. So, yeah, for the meantime here, it actually looks pretty strong, right? So, you know what? We don't really have too big of a list. I don't want to make it too big, but, still have a little room. My feel, though, is that this is not as likely to make as sharp of a pop heading into this afternoon. I really hope I'm wrong. And obviously, we're going to put it on our list anyway, so we'll still put a spotlight on this heading into the close. All right. KXIN support at 440 from Chuck. Ooh, nice run on this. What the hell happened here? All right, so we'll stay by. All right, so we'll jump to Benzinga Pro, copy and paste some news coming up here. Not much since Monday. Enter a holding agreement, I guess. No, I don't know. But nice steady move, good liquidity on the book. I guess this was creeping up as we were going from top to bottom. We were probably on the losers list at the time. So, yeah, really great shout from Chuck here. I like this. Actually, a couple of comments you wrote in the chat board for me there. I appreciate that, Chuck. All right. So I'll tell you what, folks, I think that we are pretty good. I mean, I'll check in on Riot. I'll check in on Mara. I'll check in on the CLNE. I wrote those down. Oh, yeah. So I'm just going to slap a line on 22.24. Probably a couple points where there's some shaker too, but just absolute money. Myself and Greg entered off that trade heading into the late morning. Picked up 90 plus cents on it, I think it was. Left a fortune on the table still. It ran up to 24.70. but has since held as like a pretty strong level to complement 22. Debbie saying ENG moving up slowly. Yeah, yeah. I guess you can kind of keep that on the side for the meantime, Debbie. I think that there's just better in the meantime on the main list, right? And then that's fine. I mean, we have a pretty decent list already at this stage. So, definitely good to keep on the side. Check in with it maybe in the next 5-10 minutes, like poke at it. But, unless if there's a really strong level that you're following, I don't really see as much on the book up until 450. So I'd be a little careful on that trade with it already making a big move once and then dumping back down. Checking on Mara. Both of these pretty shaky. I'm not as keen to put them on our main list here in the meantime. They might just move back up heading into the night here. I know Fausto had mentioned that. That's pretty much what happens with Bitcoin. It's a 24-hour market. So, a lot of times overnight, you're going to see Bitcoin make a big squeeze up. Keep in mind, a lot of folks in Russia, a lot of folks in China dealing with Bitcoin, mining Bitcoin, and a lot more so perhaps compared to the US at times. So, given the night, you might see some big moves up, big moves down, either way. So that's where I say, based on Bitcoin's moves, plus, of course, the major markets here, you're going to see Riot and Mara move with them in the after hours, move with them, in the evening at night once they close, or at least the major U.S. markets, at least. All right, so CLNE kind of crawling up to that, kind of resistance that we're going to call out at like 1080. It's really right there at 1075 to 1080, that range, I'd imagine. So, how many do we have here so far? 2, 4, 6, 7. We'll put one more on here. It is shortable. If it craps out the other way, this is a good example. If this is a complete false breakout from here, if this fakes us out, it is shortable. So if you happen to see a lot more selling pressure on the way down from 1075 or 1080, I imagine that could be a better short opportunity. Pretty similar to say in regard to Uber from earlier today. Mike picked up 10, 15 cents on that trade. For right now, still here too. I mean, since I last left off with it, ended up popping and dropping back under 56. It hasn't broken the trend line yet, but that could be a good short. So keep that in mind too, folks. All right. All right, so I don't know if he heard me from earlier because of my audio issue. I think that may have screwed him up a bit. I want to give a quick shout out to one of our new gold students here at Cyber Trading University. That's Zuhair from Staines, England, joining us here as our newest gold student here for the month of January. So Zuhair, welcome aboard. And with that, I might say just for all of our new students, not just trial members, but new students that are joining us on board full time, we are doing our next set of live classes coming up after Martin Luther King Day, coming up beginning on January 20th. Gives you plenty of time to go through the recordings, go through just the live trading room with us day to day. Follow up with your education advisor for them to walk you through, and then of course after that, follow up with myself, follow up with Rich and Fausto and everyone else here, and we're here to support you and help you out. All right. All right, folks, for all of us on social media, like I said before, and I will say now, and like I said before, make sure that you like, subscribe, notify right on your YouTube channel, youtube.com/cybertradingu. And then otherwise, feel free to join us Monday to Friday. All right. For all of us inside the live trading room, just give me a quick second here. I'm going to jump off the mic for about 10, 15 minutes, jump right back on and go from there. All right. I'll talk to you soon.